There's so many places of pain that we conveniently tuck away and we don't talk about. So if you've ever had a miscarriage, you've ever adopted a baby out, and you're the birth mom and you don't know how to process that, we have an amazing guest. Tina and her husband owned Legacy Adoption Agency, and we are in partnership. We're wonderful friends, and we trust them. They highly, highly come recommended from the positive experiences, both on the birth mom side and the adoptive side. So we wanted to, just put it out there that she made a great point. A lot of videos are toward the adoptive family that are longing for that child to feel like home and complete their family. But what about the side for the moms, whether you've ever told anybody or not? Maybe you had an abortion, a miscarriage, maybe you've adopted out your child. And we just want you to know we see you. That you're really important, you're valuable, and this is absolutely a safe conversation where you're not going to be judged. Your choice was exactly what you needed to do in that season of your life. And we love adoption. And we honor all the parents that make that choice, and please choose Legacy Adoption. You know, I personally know them and can tell you great things. But I also really wanted to lean into the space of how hard that is. And I've had many clients divulge that they've never told anyone their whole life that they had given a child for adoption, and or maybe didn't know they were adopted. Their family kept it a secret. And then as an adult, they're like, oh, we have different 32andMe blood, you know, like, how did this happen? And so what's been your experience of working with birth moms?
Yeah, so thank you, first of all, Shannan, for having us on your podcast. You know, birth moms in particular, that's after a mom's chosen to place her child for adoption, she's a birth mom. But birth moms in particular have changed so much in the last 20 years. Prior to that, birth moms were put into a space of shame. They were often shoved away somewhere so that nobody knew they were pregnant. And oftentimes nobody ever knew they did an adoption. So think of those hearts. How hard that is to carry that with you for so many years. We don't think of them like that. We think of moms that choose to place their child for adoption as heroes. I mean, what is more loving than choosing to allow your child to be raised by somebody else? The most selfless thing in the world you can do.
I agree.
Thinking of their interests, not your own. And it is so special to get to be a part of that with all of these moms. It's heartbreaking when they don't choose to allow somebody else to know about it. So practices like yours are so amazing because these women don't have anywhere to go oftentimes and talk to people. They'll talk to us, but it's so great when they've got a whole support team around them. And part of what we do when we're working with moms is help to build that environment around them. We really try to break down those barriers and walls that sometimes exist within their own families. They don't even want their families to know because they feel so shameful about their unplanned pregnancy. But they're making such an honoring decision and a loving decision and building someone else's family, allowing their child to be raised by Christian families that oftentimes they can't have kids of their own.
And so I love the mind shift, right? That instead of it being you are a failure, you couldn't keep your child, this is the most honoring and heroic thing you can do. The most selfless thing is to allow your child to be raised by a family that has been highly vetted. In our culture, you want to make sure your child is raised well. So it does matter whom you work with, right? We don't want them in the foster care system and all that. But we're talking about the legitimate choice to go through, and I love how much your social workers, am I allowed to call them social workers?
Absolutely.
Your care, your option choice
counselors.
Option counselors. How much they put effort in helping her not feel pressured, not manipulated, you know, but like, hey, let's really find out what's best for you and what's best for this life, and choosing life in that is massive. So what are some of the stories you've heard in this journey?
Oh man. You know, there's so many joyful stories. There's so many stories of absolute pain that women go through. And it's understandable because number one, they found out they were pregnant when they probably didn't want to be. But then number two, they oftentimes don't have anybody around them that they feel like they can share that moment with. And so when I was pregnant and had kids, I had my whole family around me celebrating me. Well, that's what these women need too. So, you know, one of the stories that comes to mind that is just one of my favorite stories to share, and it's one from probably about, 8 years ago now. We had a mom that when she called in, she was living on the streets, literally trying to find a couch every night, couch surfing. And she was using meth. She was working in card rooms, trying to make money by playing games and not living a very good life, prostituting herself from here and there and doing what she could to
Just to survive.
just to survive.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
She had had a daughter, and that daughter was now being raised by her father. She had had a couple of abortions, and so she had a lot of shame in her life, and she knew she didn't want that again.
Yeah.
So when she reached out and she got connected with us, we helped to put her into safe housing so that for the remainder of her pregnancy, she had a safe place to go every night. She had food every evening. She was not the nicest person to us. She was going through withdrawals. She was going through her own guilt from prior things in her life. She was going through loss, even though she had not yet chosen adoption to move forward. But we stood by her. She would cuss us out. She would not call us back. She would disappear for days.
Yeah.
We were constantly there every single time she came back to us.
Wow.
And so we helped her get to the point of choosing a family and ultimately choosing adoption. Within 2 days of having the baby, right after she signed her paperwork, she went into congestive heart failure. The methamphetamines was too much for her heart.
Oh, no.
And so she had nobody. We were there by her side with the pastor at the hospital, praying over her, being there with her. And when she finally came out of it, she was so grateful that she had us
Yeah.
by her side because there was no one else. And so she swore that was going to be what changed her life. That was going to be the next moment that helped her move forward to a different place.
Wow.
But we know how strong drugs can be.
Yeah.
That pull can just take you into a direction where into a dark place. You don't want to go.
Yeah.
And so she went back. And probably about 2 years later, she called me and said, Tina, I've owed you this call. I want to let you know I'm clean. And I cried on the phone with her. And we said, we've got to meet. I have to see how you're doing. And so she disappeared again. And I was like, where did Tiffany go? She called again about a year and a half later. And this time she let me know that her and her boyfriend, who had been living together on the streets when she was pregnant, he wasn't the father of the baby, but it was her boyfriend, had found a place to go to get clean. They had put their lives back together. She had a relationship with her daughter that she had been raising that had gone to her dad. And she had had a relationship with the adoptive family that we helped her find to pick for her child, that they had been praying for her all along. And that she felt like it was just that whole team of people around her that were praying for her and constantly there as we're here to support you. We're here to be your rock when you can't be. That helped pull her out of that darkness.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Wow. And that's one of hundreds and hundreds. You've been doing this for how long?
Oh gosh, I've been doing this for 25, 26 years at this point. So
Wow.
yeah.
And not completely burnt out. That is a miracle in of itself.
Yeah, you have to definitely find time for yourself and find your outlet.
Yeah.
You know, these stories are heavy, but they're also things that can be motivators and help keep you feeling like, God, my life has a purpose. I'm here not just talking to people, but helping them come to places where they're able to see a light in the darkness that's going on in their life.
Yeah. I remember one of my favorite clients, a younger African-American boy, and his family adopted him, and the adoptive family brought him for therapy. And so he was able to work through a lot of the attachment aspects of growing up with an adoption family instead of his biological. But it was really neat for him to graduate with getting his he went into medicine, so I won't say the specifics, but he went into medicine and really turned around and helped people in the exact area that his mom had been struggling.
Wow.
And so it was such a sweet story of redemption. He invited his birth mom to his graduation and getting to have, like a story of redemption in an appropriate way where he got to set boundaries and all of those aspects. But for her to get to see, oh my gosh, this child that I was really close to aborting, I actually invested him into this this adoptive family. And it wasn't always peaceful and easy. And the boy worked really hard in therapy, and the family worked hard on the attachment and helping that to be secure for everybody, and everybody get to have a voice. So to get to see those stories, that it's so scary to go, oh my gosh, I'm letting go of my child. Are they going to do a good job? And how this boy with enough love and support really went into an industry where he's helped a lot of people in a meaningful way.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at families today, it takes a whole village. I mean, people have said that forever. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
And so what we really believe is that a birth parent doesn't have to give up their child. That's such an old phrase, that you're giving up your child. That's not what you're doing. You're giving more. We believe that there should be some sort of involvement in birth families because just like you said, that child is going to have some difficulties along the way, wanting to know, why was I placed with this family for adoption?
Yeah.
Did my mom or my dad not want me? Who's the best person to tell them why they did that?
The birth parent.
The birth parent. And so if there's an active engagement and relationship that's been built, that's going to be such a healthy environment for a child. They're going to know the exact reason why they were placed lovingly with this family, and that it wasn't something that they did because they didn't like them and they wanted to just throw them out, which is what so many people in prior years would think.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
much healthier.
Exactly. And if there's any moms listening, whether they're making that decision right now, or maybe they've already made that decision and they're just kind of struggling with, who am I as a person? Am I good? Did I make the right choice? What would you say to a birth mom?
Oh gosh, talk to someone. Find an agency that has a support group, because there's support groups out there, and oftentimes those are so overlooked.
Yeah.
We love running our support groups. We have them in person and online at various times throughout the month, so you're welcome to call us and we can connect you to that. But there are so many options, either with us as an agency to do some sort of supportive counseling, or with counselors, to go out and have individual sessions that maybe go into deeper issues that you have going on. And I would strongly encourage you, don't keep this inside.
Right.
This is not a secret that needs to be kept. You need to be celebrated. And everyone should know that you lovingly chose to place your child for adoption.
Yeah.
It was the biggest gift you could have given to some family and to your child. You gave your child life.
Yeah. You gave them life. That's so good. And so if anyone's listening and they're just wondering, like, how do I, yes, I talked to somebody, but how do I reframe that to not see it as I'm a failure and that I'm a disappointment, that, because sometimes it's a rape, sometimes it's a financial issue, sometimes it's a capacity issue, or, an affair. There's a million different scenarios, and there's no shame on any of those, because life is beautiful and the life that comes, no matter how it gets here. So any last parting words you would share by the mom?
I would just say that, the Lord doesn't make mistakes. We all know that everybody has issues in their life. Everybody makes mistakes in their life. So nothing that you have done in your past is to be looked down upon. Celebrate it. Let's get it out in the open. Let's talk through it. Let you help resolve any questions you have around those circumstances, and celebrate you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have Kristen, Claire, and Courtney, who are amazing counselors at Crawford Clinic. So if you ever need somebody to talk to and you're like, I cannot talk to my family for a multitude of reasons, we've got you. It's confidential. So this is an option for you. We love you guys. We want no shame, no condemnation, and we would love for things to come in the light so that, one, you're physically and psychologically healthier, and we flip the script, like what you did earlier, of we're not just living in this, like, I failed, I'm not good enough, I gave my child away, but really you invested, you sowed into their life, you sowed into the destiny and the bigger calling. And I would caution you against going with big organizations that you don't know their character and the legal situation of our government. I think there are places that you should not take your child, to be completely honest. And that not because she's sitting here, but because, the foster care system, our whole CPS system really needs reformation. But I think there are safe places. That's why we wanted to highlight you, that if you're ever in that situation, you're not bad, and you're not weak, and you're not a failure or a bad person, that there's options that can help you feel safe, and you get to walk through that journey at your own pace. You're not manipulated. It's the sweetest opposite of that.
Absolutely.
And I can't say that for all organizations, unfortunately. So know what you're aligning with and the relationships that you can build. And then if this is something in your past, also get it off your chest. Don't carry that secret and that burden. And we've talked before on other episodes with Andrea, one of our counselors, about how our body actually stores trapped energy of emotion that gets stuck in the body. And we don't want to keep that locked inside. You have a great future, a bright story ahead of you. So keep a positive script. Thank you so much.
Thank you
And
for
it's been an
having me.
honor. And if anybody does want to connect, how do they connect with Legacy Adoption?
Absolutely. You can go on our website. Some people want to do it without actually making a call, which is easier. So you can go on our website and we have a chat box, or we have a little email that you can fill out and reach us. Or if you'd like to call us, you can do that at 877-899-5000.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Well, love you guys. See you for the next episode. Bye.